Welcome. In this tutorial, we will be going over how to create citations and a Works Cited page within NoodleTools. So we are on the landing page, which lists all of the different projects that I have going right now. We're going to focus in on this first project up here at the top. I'm starting my work on my animal report. I'm very excited to be learning about sloths. So I'm going to click on that. And as you can see, there's not a lot to look at because I'm just getting started. What I want to do today is add in the information about 3 different sources I'm using in my research. The first source we'll look at is actually a book that's sitting on my desk. I'll show you what it looks like, The Adventures of Dr. Sloth. Really lovely book, great illustrations, super engaging read. So I will be making a citation for that. I'll also be making a citation for a website that I found on the open web, which is the Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. Some really great information, some great images that I might be interested in utilizing. And then the third item I will be citing is from the Gale database. So as you know, HERC schools have access to a couple of databases which contain thousands and thousands of wonderful informational text articles. And I found one on sloths that I really like. So we're going to go over all 3 of those citations. First of all, what I need to do here in NoodleTools is click on New Source. And I'm going to start with my book. Books are considered print resources. So when I click on Print, I will click on Book. And as you can see, there are a variety of fields that I'll need to fill out. So a contributor would include, of course, the author, but also if we're looking at an anthology or an encyclopedia, then we might end up using another type of contributor, perhaps an editor, that sort of thing. Also, putting in the title, of course, publisher, year, publication city if needed. Notice too that we have this section at the bottom for annotation. So of course, annotating means that I can put any sort of note here that will help me link this source to some part of my paper. So I might summarize what the book is about. I might say how it's going to inform some part of my thesis. This is very optional, of course, but it can be really helpful when you're working with multiple sources. One of the things that I love about NoodleTools is that there are some really neat shortcuts, and one of them is the import feature, meaning that if the citation for this book exists somewhere in the open web, I can actually bring it in rather than type it all out myself. By default, of course, it's given to us through ISBN, but I can change it. I could actually search the title of this book, The Adventures of Dr. Sloth. Search that, and it's going to search WorldCat, and there we go. We have 2 sources already. They look almost identical. Maybe they are identical, so I'll go ahead and pick one. I'm going to import it, and now it's giving me a preview. And when I take a look at the book on my desk, I look at the first couple pages, it appears to match this, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. And I can see all these fields have been populated, so I can go ahead and click on Save in the upper right. So here we are. Underneath this project, we have our first citation for that book. So that's really exciting. So my second citation is going to be for this article I found in the open web. The article, Why Are Sloths So Slow and Other Sloth Facts. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and copy the URL at the top. I'm going to head back over here to NoodleTools. I'm going to go ahead and get started with a new source. Now this one is from a website. So when I click on that, it's going to ask me what kind of website I looked at. I'll click on Web Page. And again, you'll see a variety of fields to fill out. Some are required, some are not. So we'll put in some basics to get started. Here's the URL. It's asking me about when it was published and when it was accessed. Well, the publication date is sometimes there, sometimes not. In this case, it is October 18th, 2019. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that in, October 18, 2019. The date of access is most likely going to be today if I'm citing the same day I looked at it, so I can click on that and it auto-populates. I can also add some more information here about perhaps the author or the editor, whatever's available to me. When I'm working with students and helping them find authorship, we'll look at the top of the article. Sometimes we end up scrolling down to the bottom, even though we may not have read it all yet. Oh my gosh, look at these cute pictures. And I don't actually see an author name, but I do see information about the organization that I can go in and add. So I'm going to go ahead and put the name of the website, which I can see is required. And maybe the fastest way for me to do that is to copy and paste it if I don't want to type it all out. And giving me a little suggestion. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that for now. Upper right here is the save button. And as you can see, I have my second citation, and this represents a source we found in the open web. Finally, the last article that I want to put into my list of citations is from a database. So as you know, we have this database from Gale. I found an article that I really like, and I have the option to either scroll down or in the upper right where it says Cite, notice that it's giving me the citation in MLA automatically, which is so cool. I don't have to build it myself, not with today's tools. I could also switch it up to Chicago or APA if I wanted to. And we do have the option to either copy this whole citation and then go over and we could paste it. So I'm going to click on New Source. I'm going to click on Database, and this is original content in a database. So I'm going to click on that, and I can do the quick cite right here, copy and paste a citation because it was given to me as is. So I would just drop this and hit Control V or paste another way. However, let me show you one more cool feature. If you didn't catch this before, just underneath this citation, you see an export feature for NoodleTools. So in other words, Gale is talking to NoodleTools. Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and export it. And there is my citation. It's looking at the projects, and actually it selected the most recent project I worked on, sloths. So I'm going to go ahead and import that one. And it says that it was successfully imported. So let's go back over there. I'm going to cancel this because we didn't complete the copy paste method. But if I refresh, I can see now that the Gale article on sloths was successfully incorporated. So there you have it. We have 3 sources for our research. And the last thing I want to show you is really cool. This is how we have students create their Works Cited page, otherwise known as a bibliography. So I'm going to go up here to this little arrow. I see export/print. And I'm going to go ahead and export it to Google Docs because that's what I'm used to working with, but you can see there's other options. I want to incorporate all of my sources. So when I submit it, this is the part that gets teachers so excited because we know that formatting a bibliography or a works cited page can be really time consuming. But by utilizing the tools in this program, NoodleTools, it's already been done for us. So as you can see, we have a beautifully formatted MLA style works cited page that's ready to go.